just in time. So wow, hey, if you're a caster and you want practice, look at the minimap. This is the game you want to practice with, I guess. A lot going on here. Meantime, we do have the banelings coming out for MadFrog. MadFrog taking out some more banelings from MorroW, but trading him like that is not going to get him the win. MorroW has to pull back his Zerglings, and he gets them out just in time. One Zergling on each one baneling, although those two Zerglings are taken out again. So a little bit of a misstep by MorroW, but he is going to pull back and try to take out this baneling for MadFrog. MorroW doing just an excellent job microing his Zerglings. So MorroW, I would say, definitely showing a lot of promise as a Zerg player as well. Some of you may remember he became famous for playing as Terran, winning that ESL in Cologne way back in the day. I believe it. IEM, I'm sorry, IEM back in the day in Cologne, Germany. In the meantime, the Queen's for MorroW moving out across the map, trying to take out these Overlords, and we also have some Zerglings moving across the map for MadFrog as well. MorroW forced to pull back, wondering where those Zerglings are, and right now it looks like MorroW still looking very superior in the numbers department, and yeah, MorroW actually is supply block now, so that's going to pause him for just a moment. In the meantime, MadFrog doing a good job taking that Zone Tower, and these Queens will go down, so MadFrog losing 2 Queens, and that's going to leave this ramp wide open for MorroW to waltz in and do some sort of damage. In the meantime, these rocks have been taken down for MorroW, but 2 banelings come in, and they may be able to take out those Zerglings. They do, only needing 1 baneling actually. MorroW poking in with his Zerglings, and MadFrog being able to force him back with his own banelings. In the meantime, some banelings from MorroW have gotten into the mineral line, and will he be able to do any damage? No, he's not able to take out any drones at all. Some of those drones at very low health. MorroW warping in more banelings as well. So both players just with impeccable micro. MadFrog moving in some banelings, possibly trying to take out some of the banelings morphing from MorroW, but no, he walks right past them, trying to get to the Zerglings. In the meantime, more Zerglings coming up from MorroW. MorroW again doing a great job just assigning 1 Zergling per baneling there. So right now, yet MadFrog is starting to gradually lose ground, I believe, as MorroW has kept the fights more or less to MadFrog's side of the map. MadFrog coming out with a lot of banelings here, and MorroW with a little group of Zerglings as well. Let me see here, and we do have something going down here. MadFrog looking a little bit strong here, some more Zergling on Zergling action. Banelings coming in for MadFrog, forcing MorroW to pull back, and MorroW chasing off the banelings of MadFrog with his own banelings. In the meantime, it looks like these banelings from MorroW chasing him back yet again. MadFrog forced to fall back with his Zerglings. And yeah, so it looks like MorroW's still in sort of a commanding position here, I would say. MorroW sending out some more Zerglings to die to the banelings of MadFrog. Let's go back to the production tab just to see if anything else has changed. And it has not, so let's take a moment and look at the bases for each player. So bases for each player looking pretty much the same. MadFrog with a few more spine crawlers, which may actually come back to haunt him. It's great, but MadFrog with those spine crawlers is kind of like saying, okay, I'm expecting you to actually get banelings into my base, which shows a little bit of a lack of confidence on MadFrog's part, so that may be the advantage that MorroW needs to be able to outproduce him, as those spine crawlers basically are 4 lings apiece. So that may come into play in the future. This baneling is not going to be able to allow to get into the base for MorroW. MorroW doing a great job again, but MadFrog advancing on his opponent's base now. And it looks like MorroW is going to sacrifice those 2 banelings as well. MadFrog morphing in more banelings. Looks like sending in a few Zerglings as well to try to draw the banelings for MorroW. MadFrog surrounding and killing off a couple speedlings of MorroW's, and MorroW sending 2 more banelings down. I've never said banelings and speedlings so many times in one game before. This is, I've got to be like equaling Artosis' mention of banelings for the entire 2nd season of GSL. And wow, it looks like MadFrog able to get some banelings into the base of MorroW. So MorroW able to take out 2 of them, but 1 is there as well. And between that speedling and this queen, he is going to be able to take it out before it causes any damage. I believe, yes, he is. And so MorroW again doing a great job of defending. In the meantime, MadFrog camping just outside of his base. These Overlords have an easy job. They don't even have to fly around. They don't have to scout and do anything. They just kind of hang out. And yeah, so more baneling and Zergling action. That Zergling is going to be surrounded and taken out. And MadFrog ready to do an advancement into his opponent's base. This baneling very low on health, but this baneling moving in towards the army of MorroW. And MorroW may be a little bit distracted. This baneling getting it and almost taking out those drones again. Wow, so many drones from MorroW on low health, losing a few right there. Just a couple, so not a huge loss yet for MorroW. If we look at the income tab, it looks like MadFrog has pulled ahead slightly in the worker count. 16 over 14, and those banelings doing a good job taking out a few Zerglings for MorroW. and MadFrog right now. So the battle has shifted. MadFrog starting to take a commanding lead in this game in terms of positioning, but just as I say that, things start to move back to the middle of the map again. This baneling for MorroW is going to move across and cause some damage. In the meantime, more banelings coming across the map for MorroW. That speedling is going to be picked off. So let's take a look at that baneling. Where was it? And I think it must have been taken out. Yeah, that baneling must have been taken out by the Zerglings for MadFrog. So crisis averted there for MadFrog. In the meantime, MorroW regains his position in the center of the map. Wow, both players just really showing us, if you're going to go baneling micro, this is how to do it. Baneling, speedling, micro school going on here on Blistering Sands. Both players playing so well. Let's go back to the production tab to see what is going on. And here we see the first deviation. We see a Roach Warren going down for MadFrog, which is a little bit of an interesting choice, as both players have pretty much almost already mined out their bases. Looks like MorroW was trying to take an expansion, but that's not going to happen, as MadFrog is lurking outside with this rather sizable army. So it looks like actually MorroW putting up the Roach Warren as well, but it is going to finish a little bit behind MadFrog's. So both players must be getting tired at this point of microing, wanting to move on to something a little bit different, getting a little bit bored, I suppose, even. And yeah, so MorroW again going to pick off this baneling. Meantime, this baneling trying to blend in with MadFrog's forces. He says, "Don't mind me, I'm blue." That's just how it is. But yeah, this baneling pulling back again. MorroW bringing in a few more Zerglings, trying to get these banelings to blow up, and he does blow up a couple of them. In the meantime, MadFrog still camping out outside of his opponent's base, and the first roaches are hitting the field. 6 roaches coming in, as we can see from the production tab for MorroW. So the speedling numbers are going to decrease for just a moment, but he does have enough banelings to hold off his opponent. At least I think he does. We'll have to see what happens. Those roaches are basically going to be soaking the damage from the banelings if we can, but more banelings coming in for MadFrog, and he is going to be taking out 4 drones. So nice job with MadFrog getting some drone kills. Every drone kill is huge in this matchup. In the meantime, MadFrog pulling back a little bit. MorroW just waiting now for his roaches to be finished, and MadFrog only producing 1 roach, so not really going into roach heavy production too much yet, but there will be some on the field very shortly. Roaches nearly finishing now for MorroW. The first few probably are already on the way, and MorroW having a lot of speedling numbers. Let's take a look at the army tab, and MadFrog actually significantly ahead now, 51 over 38. MorroW has the superior baneling numbers, so if he can micro it well, he may be able to cut down severely the numbers of speedlings for MadFrog. In the meantime, we do have more units moving across the map for both players. That baneling is going to go down from MadFrog, and the roach numbers for MadFrog are growing rather large as well. I think I may have said that wrong earlier. I said that MorroW was producing some more roaches, but I believe it was actually MadFrog. Whoops. Let's go to the unit tab. So 10 roaches out on the field right now for MadFrog, and 3 for MorroW, with more on the way from both players, I believe. Yep, more on the way. So MadFrog transitioning over more or less 2 roaches, which could work okay combined with these speedlings and banelings. The only thing he needs to worry about is the surround from the speedling numbers that MorroW has, but MorroW just lurking out front. It looks like he is going to move in just as his opponent moves out of the ramp, but no, just sending in 1 baneling just to see what's going on, and he will see those roaches, I believe, and pull back a little bit. So MorroW taking this opportunity to pull in, possibly thinks he can get the surround on these roaches. We'll have to see what happens. That baneling goes down, so MorroW just kind of getting some positioning on the map, not quite decided as for what he is going to do yet. Overlord's still cruising about the map, hanging out. These guys are talking. They're like, "Wow, have you guys ever seen such a long baneling Zergling battle?" And the other Overlord's like, "No, I've never seen anything like that. I can't believe one of us isn't an Overseer yet. No lair, no nothing." In the meantime, MadFrog taking the opportunity to move out across the map with that large roach army. Some MorroW banelings running away in terror. They say, "This is not what we were spawned to do." In the meantime, a few more banelings coming in for MadFrog. These roaches will bring up the front to tank the damage. In the meantime, we have the roaches from MorroW as well, but MadFrog definitely has the superior roach numbers at this point. We're gonna have to see what he is going to do. He's going to try to pull MorroW down this ramp to try to get that concave with the roaches, but I don't know if it's going to work given the micro that these players have done so far. I'd be pretty surprised if MorroW falls for something like that. The roaches going in to pick off these banelings. Excellent job by MorroW. And now the roaches are thinking of pulling in, but no, both players more or less stalemated at this point. Let's take a look again at the income tab. 14 harvesters for MadFrog, only 9 for MorroW right now, and that is going to hurt him in the long run. Looks like MadFrog is just slightly ahead now, and if we go back to the production tab, more roaches and banelings coming in for MadFrog as well. So MadFrog, as this army grows, is going to look a little bit stronger. MorroW deciding that his only answer is to take down his own rocks to create another exit for his base to possibly try to go in and do some damage to his opponent, and he may just get that opportunity as long as MadFrog sits outside. As you can see, MadFrog not really placing his overlords in a position where he could watch for something like this, so that may come back to haunt him. We'll have to see, although we will see the units for MorroW coming in. So MorroW trying to get in position behind the units of MadFrog, but MadFrog does pick it up just in time. So it looks like this may be where the final battle happens. MadFrog trying to get back onto the ramp just in time of the meat fight, sending his speedlings in to take out the remaining drones for MorroW, and MorroW is in a terrible position right now, and these speedlings will take out the rest of his gatherers. So I think MorroW is probably just going to go right for the counterattack, as we see MadFrog destroying his base, but no, MorroW coming in to try to defend it. But I just don't know if this is a good idea, where you've pretty much already lost your gatherers, you have no more income, you just want to do a counterattack, and that's exactly what MorroW is doing. So MorroW is going to try to take down the production buildings of his opponent in time. So right now we've just got a good old-fashioned Zergling baneling into a good old-fashioned base race, but I think MorroW is going to definitely come out from behind, as MadFrog pretty much has already taken out the entire base of MorroW, and MorroW in the meantime not really even doing any work on his opponent. I think this is going to be GG, and yeah, MorroW kicked out of the game before he can even say GG. So, wow, what an awesome game on Blistering Sands. When I loaded up this replay, I did not expect that. So, wow, great baneling micro school going into a little bit of Roach Army, but MadFrog does come out on top. That was awesome. Wow, I hope you guys enjoyed it as much as I enjoyed casting it. If you like my cast, please subscribe. Otherwise, keep playing StarCraft 2, and I'll see you guys on the next cast.